Hi friends, today we are exploring one of Mumbai's most iconic and interesting spots, Chor Bazaar. Yes, Chor Bazaar or Thieves Market. Chor means thief in English. Chor Bazaar means Thieves Market. This Chor Bazaar sits on Mutton Street. Yes, Mutton Street in the Bendi Bazaar area of Mumbai, South Mumbai. Mutton Street, Bendi Bazaar. Interesting names, right? So I'll tell you all the story behind these names after reaching there. Now heading straight to Chor Bazaar. I just got off at Grand Road Railway Station. This is the Grand Road Railway Station, and I'm heading to Chor Bazaar, which is about 15 minutes walk from here. Chor Bazaar or Thieves Market, which is about 15 minutes walk from here. Grand Road is one of my favorite areas in South Mumbai because of its very old, centuries old residential buildings tucked between the high-end skyscrapers, luxurious towers. It's very interesting areas in South Mumbai. All these are very old, centuries old residential buildings, and you can also see high-end luxurious towers in between. See the age-old buildings here, very old, centuries old residential buildings, and also the latest luxurious residential towers. Is very interesting location. Now you're heading to Chor Bazaar, which is 12 to 15 minutes walk from here. Right now I'm at this intersection of four roads. On my left is the very popular, very famous Lamington Road. This is Lamington Road, which is popular for its electronic goods. Lamington Road is popular for electronic markets, especially computers, laptops and mobile phone. You'll get all types of computers, laptops and mobile phone at very reasonable rates here. It's a very popular Lamington Road market. And on my right is MS Ali Road. So to take MS Ali Road to reach Chor Bazaar or Thieves Market. So this is MS Ali Road. I have to go this way. To take this road to reach this place, Chor Bazaar. Now I'm walking along this pathway next to MS Ali Road. It's filled with shops and vendors selling all sorts of goods. Here you can see very interesting old buildings like this, as well as residential, high-end residential towers. It's a very interesting location. See all these structures, very old. See, all these are very old, centuries old buildings here. And this pathway is full of vendors selling all types of accessories, bags, accessories, and all types of goods here. See, shoes, sandals, everything. And also fruit vendor. That's so common. And see all these shops, bags, briefcase, suitcase, and everything, caps, hats, caps, shoes, sandals, and ready-made vendors also here. First I'm entering the very popular and iconic Chor Bazaar or Thieves Market. Now before exploring the market, I want you to know why this place is called Chor Bazaar or Thieves Market. The story goes that in the old days, especially during the British period, stolen goods often found their way here, and people would visit this place hoping to recover things they had lost. Now over time, the name stuck, and this Chor Bazaar became a place full of legends. Now it's one of India's largest and most popular flea markets, packed with vintage and antique goods, collectibles, all Bollywood posters, automobile parts, and so many other interesting things which we are going to explore. It's a very lively market where every shop has its own charm and every turn feels like a surprise. Yes. Start from here. Here you can see various weights, gym weights, and various other equipment and metal tools, etc. Chor Bazaar has a reputation for turning scrap into something useful. You will often find gym weights, metal tools, and even restored machines stacked between antique pieces and vintage collectibles. The mix feels chaotic, but that's what makes the market so fascinating. Every land has something unexpected waiting for you. This stretch of Chor Bazaar is packed with automobile scrap dealers. Most of them work in a simple way. They buy old vehicles from garages, auctions, and scrap yards, strip them down and sort every usable part. Engines, gearboxes, speedometers, rims, headlights, mirrors, everything ends up in a neatly arranged piles or stacked on crowded shelves. These guys are pulling out whatever usable parts they can from this machine. Some shops even have a tiny workshop where they clean and restore the pieces. A rusty carburetor can look almost new after a quick scrub. The parts that cannot be saved are sold by weight as scrap metal. What makes this place interesting is the mix. You will spot vintage Fiat parts, nested Royal Enfield frames, odd accessories from older cars, and plenty of components you don't even expect to find. The dealers know their stock well, and bargaining is a part of experience. It's loud, busy, and full of character, but if you love machines or enjoy digging for stories hidden in old metal, this line is one of the most fascinating corners of Chor Bazaar. See the variety of metal items displayed here. Now this is the bag section, bags and suitcases and briefcases, and this is the sewing machine, all kinds of sewing machines, and then comes sound boxes, all types of sound boxes and speakers. The amount of stuff here is unbelievable. Now comes the most interesting part, the curios and antique section. Here you can see statues of different gods and goddesses, metal masks, old brass lamps, and carved wooden figurines. Some pieces look like they came straight out of an old temple or a forgotten haveli or castle. Here you can also see old guitars, violins, harmoniums, and so many other things. Now this is the vintage furniture section of this bazaar. The moment you step in, you will see a mix of old wooden cupboards, classic teakwood chairs, retro study tables, and heavy trunks that look like they have traveled across generations. Some pieces are polished and restored, while others carry their age proudly with faded paint and worn edges. This Chor Bazaar is one of Mumbai's oldest markets, and its story goes back more than 100 years. It started as a small market run by local traders during the British era. Back then it was known as Chor Bazaar, which meant the noisy market because of the constant crowd and chatter. Over time the British mispronounced it as Chor Bazaar and the name stuck. And the name created a bit of mystery around the place. People started believing the market dealt in stolen goods, and that reputation only added to its fame. In reality, most shops were selling second-hand items, antiques, old machinery, and metal scrap, and things collected from auctions and dismantled buildings. And as Mumbai grew, Chor Bazaar became a hub for everything unusual and collectible. Antique dealers, scrap merchants, carpenters, mechanics, and restoration experts all set up shop here. That mix is what shaped the market's identity. Today, Chor Bazaar is not about chore at all. It's a heritage market where you can find vintage furniture, old Bollywood posters, musical instruments, automobile parts, metal curios, and rare pieces you won't see anywhere else. Its charm comes from its long history, its chaos and stories in every object you see. The automobile scrap corner of Chor Bazaar works like its own little ecosystem. Most of the dealers here have been in this trade for decades, often passing the business down through generations. They buy old or damaged cars and bikes from garages, insurance auctions, and scrap yards, then dismantle every vehicle piece by piece. Nothing goes to waste. Engines, gearboxes, shock absorbers, wiring harnesses, headlights, taillights, radiators, brakes, and even tiny nuts and bolts are sorted into piles. The parts that are still in good shape get cleaned and tested. The ones that need a little work are repaired in small workshops right behind the stalls. You'll see mechanics sitting on low stools, fixing carburetors, polishing pistons, tightening bearings, or rewiring headlamps. The antiques and curios section of this bazaar, Chor Bazaar, feels like stepping into a time capsule. Every shop is packed from floor to ceiling with pieces that seem to come from different eras. You'll find brass idols, vintage lamps, wooden carvings, and old temple artifacts sitting right next to strange collectibles like retro telephones, binoculars, typewriters, and pocket watches. Some items here look perfectly preserved, while others wear their age openly with chipped paint and faded polish. That's part of the charm. I mentioned earlier the Mutton Street where this Chor Bazaar is located. Why is it called Mutton Street? As you might have guessed, it used to be full of mutton shops. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes, this Mutton Street once had shops and traders dealing in meat and related goods. But over time, as the neighborhood changed and the market grew, the meat trade faded. But the name stayed. Name never changed. So that's the story of Mutton Street. Even though today the street is known for antiques and vintage items and the buzz of Chor Bazaar, the old name Mutton Street is a remainder of what this area used to be generations ago. I am at another highly crowded and prominent marketplace in South Mumbai, Crawford Market. I am here to see the fruit and imported goods market, which is very interesting. So let's go there. And now I have made it to the highly congested and crowded market area in South Mumbai, Crawford Market. So this is the imported goods section of Crawford Market area. It's one of the most lively and colorful corners of South Mumbai. The moment you step in, the atmosphere changes. You are surrounded by bright displays, packed shelves, and the constant hum of people bargaining, tasting, and exploring. This part of the market has built its own identity over the years, becoming a favorite stop for anyone looking for international treats, premium ingredients, or uncommon flavors that are not easily found elsewhere. One of the biggest attractions here is the variety of dry fruits. Shopkeepers display mountains of almonds, cashews, pistachios, figs, and dates in wide steel trays. Many of these come from the Middle East, and their quality is easy to see in their size and freshness. You will also find exotic options like Iranian saffron, Madjul dates, Turkish apricots, and jumbo raisins. Buyers often sample a few pieces before choosing, and the vendors are quick to explain the difference between grades, origins, and prices. Right next to the dry fruits, the chocolate section feels like a mini international aisle. Shelves are stacked with imported bars, wafers, truffles, and cocoa-based snacks from Europe, America, and Southeast Asia. Some shops specialize in rare brands or seasonal flavors, so you might come across chocolates that are usually only seen in duty-free shops. Whether you prefer dark chocolate, caramel-filled bars, or colorful candy packs, there is always something new to discover. And right next to the imported goods section is a big fruit market, and this place has grown quickly over the past few years. It's one long stretch of stalls packed with every kind of seasonal fruit you can think of. Here you will see You will find the usual favorites like apples, bananas, oranges, mosambi, pomegranates and guavas, but the range doesn't stop there. Vendors keep heaps of seasonal produce like mangoes in summer, custard apples during the cooler months, fresh figs, chicus and different types of grapes. What made this market stand out is the mix of imported fruits as well. You'll see boxes of kiwis, avocados, blueberries, strawberries, pears or pears, and cherries laid out neatly. Depending on the season, you might even spot premium varieties like Washington apples, Thai dragon fruit, or large seedless oranges from abroad. And I believe this is one of the biggest fruit market in Mumbai, South Mumbai especially. Alright, time to say goodbye. Catch my videos every Friday, 5:45 p.m. IST, Indian Standard Time. Thanks for all the support. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.